Okay, hello everyone. Welcome to Simple Scrapper Live. This is my weekly video broadcast coming to you from Simple Scrapper headquarters here in Savoy, Illinois. My name is Jennifer Wilson, and I am so glad that I get to spend time with you to talk about scrapbooking. We are right now in the middle of the Festival of Finishing, and this is our third session. I am so excited about this one because it really hits on some of the problems that scrapbookers have when they're trying to finish projects. We've already covered kind of identifying your roadblocks in finishing. We've covered some strategies for getting projects finished, how to break it down, and you can find a free finishing worksheet right here in our Crowdcast classroom. And today we're going to talk about motivation. We are going to really figure out why it is that we can feel so unmotivated to create anything at all when we have unfinished projects hanging over our heads, why that guilt gets us back, and how we can move through it. So today we are talking about starting fresh when you aren't finished. And then we're going to be talking about both the projects that you're wanting to finish, as well as all of your other scrapbooking that you feel maybe guilty working on when you have other things that you've not yet completed. So if you're new around here, again, my name is Jennifer Wilson, and I am your guide here at Simple Scrapper. Simple Scrapper is a community of women who are on a mission to find more purpose and intention in their hobbies. And we're all about finding the solutions, the practical strategies that fill you up and fit your life. And so today we're talking about finishing because this is one of the biggest challenges I see scrapbookers have. And these unfinished projects can feel like a weight. They keep popping into your mind whether you're working on them or not. And you feel guilty for the supplies you haven't used and the albums that you haven't completed. But I don't want you to feel stuck. So today I'm going to be sharing 3 different strategies that you can use to lighten that load, to feel like you're starting fresh, whether you're working on something new or you're moving forward on an unfinished project. But the first thing I want to do is I want to share our giveaway winners. This past week, I have hosted a giveaway on our YouTube channel, and that's just youtube.com/simplescrapper. And this is a giveaway for 10 seats in our membership. And I promised that I would share the answers here today, or the winners here with you guys today. So I've randomly selected 10 winners from everyone who left comments. I want to thank everyone for leaving comments on my video, sharing the type of videos you would like to see on YouTube. So if you're watching this on YouTube Live, welcome. We are all kind of gathered here in our Crowdcast classroom, so make sure you hop over that link to join the live broadcast. But this live presentation is broadcast both to YouTube and to Facebook so that anyone, no matter where they are, can check it out and tune in. But it's in our Crowdcast classroom where you can chat with other participants as well as submit questions for me to answer live. So it's kind of like our live classroom area. All right, without further ado, here are our 10 winners. And each of these winners gets 1 free month of Simple Scrapper membership. So instead of doing one winner getting a longer membership, I wanted to, allow 10 different people to get a sample of what we have to offer inside of our paid community. So we have Marie-Pierre Capristran, Judy Evans Parker, Tina Campbell, Kerry McKinnis, Marsha Fowlkes, Erinn Wenrich, Lisa Shireman, ScrapandPlanwithLea, Chrissy Vieman, and Jenny McGee. And I will also post these in the comments of this video as well as the giveaway video on YouTube. So congratulations to our winners. All you need to do is send an email to help@simplescrapper.com and we will get you set up with your free month of membership. And thank you all for participating. I now have so many ideas both for recorded videos on YouTube as well as future episodes of this live show. So thank you. All right, now let's get into the topic today. But first, I want to remind you one more time, here on Crowdcast is where you can submit questions for me to answer live. So if at any time you have a question, whether it's about finishing projects or other things we do at Simple Scrapper, I want you to hit that Ask a Question link and submit something for me, and I will get to those at the end of our broadcast. You can also upvote questions that you want me to answer live, and I'll go in that order. All right. So here is my first tip. When you have projects that you haven't finished, we tend to do one of two things. One, we don't start new things because we keep telling ourselves, oh, I can't start anything new because I need to finish this other project. But for whatever reason, you're not actually making progress and moving forward on that project. Or the other common approach is that you start something new anyway, and you continue to feel guilty of all the things you're starting and not finishing. So whichever approach that you tend to take, I want you to use this mindset. I want you to treat starting something new as a momentum builder. I want you to work on something fun and exciting with new products or new ideas. And I want you to use that new item, whether it's a single pocket page or a layout or even a mini book project. I want you to use that as a way to kind of start your momentum snowball rolling down the hill so that you can then take that energy and apply it to your unfinished project. Now, of course, we have to be careful that we don't get into that cycle of starting more things than we can finish. But I also don't want to discourage you from starting new things because they can be really powerful momentum builders. And often the smaller, the more compartmentalized you can make this new thing, particularly, just single layouts or a series of layouts, that can really help you feel invigorated and remember why you love the hobby, find your creative flow so that you can jump back into that project. All right, that's the first strategy. The second one is to think about why this project isn't working well for you. In what ways have you made it too complicated? Have you set the bar too high? You've made this oftentimes when we make albums, we kind of set this structure up that we're going to do 40 full page layouts and matching spreads. And maybe it's just too complicated. There's too many photos. It's too overwhelming, particularly if you're trying to make everything all match up. So what expectations do you need to relax? How can you simplify this project and still get it done and still feel happy about it? I always talk about finding the simplest solution that's satisfying to you, because what's satisfying to me is going to be different than what's satisfying to you or your friend or your neighbor. We all have different expectations, but if we can give ourselves permission to relax them and find our own simple path, you can start moving forward and take what I call a course correction. So you're on this current course and the road's a little rocky. But if you make a course correction, you can find the smoother path and keep moving forward with a little bit more simplicity, with more ease and more creative flow. So I want you to give yourself permission to do that because it can be so reinvigorating to basically, and this is the real start fresh, to really see a new vision for finishing your project. All right, and that leads me to our third piece of advice here today. And that's I want you to tackle your unfinished project like it's a brand new project. Particularly if this is something that you haven't put your hands on in a while, really think about it as if you were buying everything new, gathering it, pretend like you're shopping your stash and bring everything together as if you're just getting started. And that's why I have the free finishing worksheet here in our Crowdcast classroom, because this allows you to map out your project plan, remember why it's important to you and why this is something that you actually want to finish, and then just treat it as a brand new project. Kind of really sink into that new project energy and say, okay, I am pressing the start button from here forward. All the past is the past, and we are starting fresh from today with a new vision, whether that includes a course correction or not, but a new plan going forward and a new sense of momentum and energy, particularly if you've already created that momentum snowball from your other new project. All right, so those are my 3 simple tips today, and I would love if you had any questions about finishing projects that we can tackle during the rest of our time. While you're thinking about those, I do want to give you a preview of next week. This week's episode is intentionally kind of short because next week we're going to go long. We're going to go for the full hour, and this is a big event. Next week is the Be a Finisher Masterclass. This is where I'm going to kind of review all of the different concepts we've talked about the past 3 weeks, but then translate that into how you can start more of the projects, how you can finish more of the projects you start. And what that boils down to is making the right decisions when you're starting a project. Instead of needing to make a course correction later, it's about thinking through what is the simplest solution now. It's about thinking about your priorities and the season of life that you're in and how much energy you have to give to your scrapbooking when you're starting a project so that you're thoughtful and intentional and your projects can be finishable. So next week, we're going to do the Be a Finisher Masterclass, and this is in conjunction with our seasonal planning event. So I'll have another free worksheet for you next week, our seasonal planner, where I'll help you kind of boil down what your project priorities are. Because when you know what's important to you right now, what's in your sights, that is one of the other keys to making sure that you are finishing more of the projects you start. So next week will be a long episode, and I'm really excited about this one. Many of you have been participating in our planning events for the past several years, and these are always very popular and well attended. And of course, if you're watching here live on Crowdcast, you are already registered for next week, our 4th and final session of the Festival of Finishing. Now, I'll also give you a sneak peek. We do have a class called The Finishing Project inside of our membership, as well as our members-only retreat coming up. And I'll be sharing a little bit more about that next week for those who are new to Simple Scrapper. All right, I'm going to check here on our questions. All right, I don't have any questions so far today. So we had a fun comment here from Natalie. She says, it's like you were in my living room last night talking to my husband. I was just telling him how I couldn't start something else because of all the outstanding projects I have on my plate. So Natalie, you definitely have my permission to start something new, but I would keep it very small, very focused, so that you can create that momentum snowball to then take that into the next project. And so the key here, as I said, to be careful is so that you're not always starting something new and that you do use that energy to return to your other projects. Mandy makes a great comment here. She says, keep the end in mind. And that is always a wonderful strategy when you're starting a project, is to know what you're going for and then craft the simplest path to get there. Because if you think it through from that seed of an idea all the way to what that envisioned project is at the end, you'll identify what some of the hurdles might be, what your roadblocks might be, where you might get stuck, and you can kind of already plan to work around those or to make those, course corrections in your planning process so that you don't face those challenges, so that you can simplify from the very beginning and finish more of those projects that you want to start. All right, guys. Simple Scrapper Live is my weekly show, and I'm so grateful that I get to spend this time with you each and every Tuesday afternoon. It's one of the best parts of my week, and I hope that it's a helpful solution for you. If you are not yet following me on YouTube, you can find our channel at youtube.com/simplescrapper. I am gearing up to record a lot of brand new videos to kind of extend what we're doing here with Simple Scrapper Live. I'm seeing this show as the opportunity to talk about ideas related to purposeful memory keeping, to talk about productivity, to talk about how we feel about scrapbooking and how we make it happen in our lives. And then I'm really excited to share a lot of new recorded videos on some of the more practical, specific techniques that you guys are asking about. Thanks again. Again, my name is Jennifer Wilson, and I am so glad to spend this time with you. I will see you again next week at our Be a Finisher Masterclass and planning event. Thanks a lot, guys.